Today I want to chat about how we can navigate the AI era. To start things off, I want to introduce you to an old friend of mine. This is discretion. The name translates to the big iron man. I was warned by some test viewers to avoid bringing a toy to a rather serious topic, but I find it very relevant. So I'd rather risk losing some viewers at this point than not to mention this lovely robot. But of course, viewers, don't go, stay. He was a very compassionate AI robot from a Japanese TV series about 50 years ago. 50 years ago, people were already talking about good and evil in AI. At the end of that story, he sacrificed himself to stop an evil AI overlord. Quite touching, to be honest. Watching that as a kid sparked a dream in me to build AI that truly helps people. While that dream is a bit far away now, I will start by sharing some useful AI ideas instead. Let's get started. First, a disclaimer. Realistically, no one can claim 100% accuracy in predicting where AI is heading. So please take what I say here as just one perspective. Use your own best judgment when making decisions. Why am I saying this? Am I not confident? Well, not really, because even the biggest AI CEOs have changed their prediction recently. A couple of years ago, they warned about mass job losses, market disruptions, etc. Now, the story has shifted. They say AI is a helper, enabler, and that only people who use AI will replace those who don't. Why the change in tone? Building better public image aside, AI hasn't really been as successful in areas outside of software development, for example. Maybe due to the lack of business work data as compared to software, which can be found in a lot of public repositories, for example, those open source projects. Think about the inclusion of AI agents in one famous messaging app recently, which seems to eager to get business work data, I think. In such tool, you just need to tag the name of a chatbot and it acts like a virtual employee. It works because that bot can read all your company's conversation history and data, maybe documents as well if you allow it to. The same thing is of course happening with operating system and search engines. They are learning from us constantly. Now, this softer narrative for top AI CEOs is comforting nonetheless. Bad news tend to bring in regulations and hurt stock prices after all. But let's not mistake better PR for total safety. The impacts are still significant. If we look at reality, automation is speeding up fast. In the past, robots were mostly in factories. They're still there, but they're still accelerating the automation for sure, but they're moving into business work. Handling customer support, data processing, administrative and back-end tasks can now be automated as well. As a result, we are seeing banks and financial institutions cutting staff because of this. There are other reasons why financial institutions are cutting, staff that aggressively, but well, I'll hold on to that until the next video. On the physical labor side, human robots are really getting scary good. Have you seen the clip of the Chinese dancer on the America's Got Talent show? You can see it on the bottom left here, in the picture here. It was almost eerie. At times, the human moved more like a machine than the robots did. What an irony. Or should I say, what an irony. Why does this matter, right? Because a humanoid shape lets AI into our world. They can use buildings, transportation, and tools designed for the human form. Robots can navigate stairs, ladders, use tools like drills, saws, kitchen knives, and even keyboard and mouse. For example, as in the picture in the bottom right, there will be about a few hundred robots deployed to households in China doing chores such as washing dishes, doing laundry, mopping the floor, and even cutting tomatoes. New robotic development kits, for example, the Isaac Roots kit from NVIDIA, bundles hardware and software to speed up robotic application development. You can see it in the top picture, the silverish robot there. I think job replacement as a result in physical roles, for example, might be happening faster than most expect. Even in the intellectual work space, like management consultants are cutting staff by a few percent to 10%. Example companies in this space are McKinsey, Bain, KPMG, BCG, Deloitte, etc. Maybe not all of them are planning to cut, but anyway, they are in the category. And in the tech sector, of course, many thousands of workers, developers, programmers are getting laid off or facing layoff in a few percent kind of range as well, maybe. So anyway, 10% cut might not sound like a disaster on paper, but take into consideration that in a lot of countries, 4 to 6% of unemployment rate is already considered the normal level. And now we are adding, say, 10% to it. What's worse is that there's a ripple effect as well. When companies automate jobs, they pay households less. That means less money for people to spend. When people spend less, businesses sell less. Then businesses will cut costs more. Some businesses will close down because of a smaller market and worse competition. Jobs will be lost from these closed down businesses as well, of course. So it goes on. It becomes a vicious spiral. It disrupts a nice circulation of wealth in the free market capitalism, which has helped raise the living standards for decades. The further risk is that wealth concentrates at the very top amongst the related companies, the AI-related companies. The bottom of the pyramid, that is those with less income, have less access to resources, widening the wealth gap. And ironically, even the wealthiest will feel the strain eventually. Money only has value if there are other people to trade with, right? A small group of billionaires can now maybe buy a lot of jets, a lot of private jets, a lot of mansions. But they can eat 30 meals a day, for example, because they can afford it, but are they going to eat that much? I think you see where I'm going at. But please, let me be clear. The pyramid here only depicts the income level versus population, not human worth. Your kindness, creativity, and character matter far more than income levels. You might wonder if governments or the markets will have some mechanism to slow things down, right? To slow the automation down, But for public companies, the priority is always profit and shareholders. They need to worry about company survival before, the staff inside. If automation saves money, they're going to do it. They're going to do it more, especially when the economy is shrinking or not doing well. And I'm hearing some companies seem to regard like whoever can cut the fastest will survive the longest. And for governments, national security and staying ahead in the global race have always been the priority, right? Economical and technological dominance are important. So that usually means pushing more towards automation, not slower. However, though, there's one country, I think it's a state capitalism kind of country, starting to enforce policy on AI usage. That can be a good start. As a side topic, the world has enough resources and energy to support everyone on this planet. I just hope world leaders can overcome the existing barrier and to unite and make a brighter world, be more tolerant of the differences, slowly coping with each other, right? The real challenge is really figuring out how to incorporate AI into the human world nice and easy in a win-win fashion. What worries me most is that we might be automating away our own safety nets. Programmers are some of the first to get cut, but these are the people who can fix and secure systems we rely on. We are all surrounded by software which, is a reality. If AI does all the coding at a speed human can't match, right, we'll eventually lose the ability to fix things when they break. Who will be the experts in 20 years if entry-level kind of coding jobs disappear today? I think very few will major in computer science. We see the same risk in medicine. AI is already beating general practitioners in some studies, in disease diagnostics, for example. If human doctors become redundant, healthcare could become a monopoly as well. A university professor in mathematics recently told the viewers that in a video, he could no longer throw math problems to challenge the AI models. Well, math is the foundation of science and engineering. So engineers and technicians, scientists alike can face redundancy too. That's very ridiculous, to be honest. If this continues unchecked, we risk becoming entirely dependent on a few tech giants with no backup plans. Maybe these tech giants leaders will be as generous as Bill Gates, who amicably donated a lot to the charity. Maybe they will help end war and famine because maybe they are smarter. Or maybe we'll end up with something like Skynet or Umbrella Corporation. It's a real risk, and it's worth thinking about. So, how do we survive this transition? I have 3 simple suggestions. First, learn AI and sharpen your skills. If AI can do a job, let's say at 200% efficiency, try to use AI to get yourself to 160 or 170% efficiency, right? That helps you stay in the game. You might not be the machine, but you will stay competitive, protect your income, and buy yourself time. Buying time is kind of the main theme here, because eventually I hope all the governments and NGOs, etc. will group together to deal with this. So stay close also to the AI trends. Spend maybe 15 to 20 minutes a day to learn about AI, the latest news in your specific field. Early awareness is gold. It lets you pivot before the disruption hits. Remember, your income is your buffer. Stay employed. Third, diversify. If your main industry is changing, look at nearby fields. Say if you are a carpenter, maybe learn some metalwork because your handiwork can still be, leverage. If you are in customer support, maybe look into sales. I think you get the idea. Try to swap some passive entertainment for some strategic learning. This isn't about panic, it's about preparation. For business leaders, your goal is also about buying time, but through smart management, of course. You don't always need the most expensive cutting-edge AI, for example. Match the tool to the rhythm of your business. I like to use this example a lot. An AI report that maybe takes 2 seconds to generate because you're using the best tool and models is useless if your supply chain can only react in months. Balance cost with reality. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And for the technologists, my advice depends on where you are. If you are a senior engineer, diversify. Don't tie your career to a single closed system that could be banned, restricted, or outcasted by another better system tomorrow. Master open source tools. They are community driven and likely to last. If you're a junior dev or a fresh graduate, well, the sad news is that AI can already do the work of a mid-level programmer with maybe 4 years or 5 years of good experience. Traditional entry-level roles are shrinking, but I don't think you need to throw away your education yet. Instead, use your tech skill to build a business. Do it with friends or peers. You will gain the critical human skills, the human collaboration skills, communication skills too, very essential. That way you gain both technical and industry experience, valuable for your next job, even if your business fails. Give yourself maybe a year to a year and a half to build something valuable. If you are tight on cash, then do it in your spare time after work. Start today. I'm planning a few more videos, deep dives, especially for executives, technologists, and those of you in non-technical roles. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe so I know how to prioritize those guides. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next video.